Welcome to this Operation Greatness Freeing the Matrix Parasite Cleansed Action Pod number 49. We are implementing the 30-day success formula. What is it that you want most right now? Is it your health? Is it something related to a relationship? Is it more money? Is it a new job? Is it a new car? Is it a new house? Is it to be more spiritually centered and connected within your power and owning and living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma? We can think about this in terms of the four bodies that, at least in the West, people focus their attention on creating. The physical body, your health needs, your fitness needs, your weight, your diet, your emotional needs, how you relate with others, how you feel about yourself, how you show up in the world, your mental needs or your mental body related to knowledge, wisdom, finances, your work, how you are serving others in the world, and your spiritual body, your relationship with the cosmos, God, your spiritual growth, your evolution, your maturity. You might want to even think about, it's good to know what your needs are, what your goals, desires, and dreams are, where you are moving in the world, right? So you might want to, when I say might, you could just cross that out in any statement in which it's used and then do, because the statement is accurate and more truthful and focused and specific without the word might in there. So I'm recommending that you write down all of the desires that you have in each of those four areas, your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual. Because think of this as like the menu, and you want all of these items on the menu in your life. And you like think about this as the order taking system of the universe, where what you give your attention, you are creating in your life, and that becomes the world, how we are collectively creating our lives and our planet and our world is based on those things that you want, which are important to you. So recognizing them. And yet, so you're welcome to do this, to revisit our implementing the 30-day success formula every 30 days and work on a different focus during that 30-day period. So if you come back here like next month at this time and work on something else and make that your main dish, shall we say, off the menu, like this is what I'm creating now, think of it like a checklist. In each of these four areas, you're making the checklist of the things that you are bringing into your life, that you are giving your attention, which is where you are giving your power, and that's what you are then creating. I recommend you treat this like that, like this is my bucket list in these four areas, and what's most pressing and immediate for me now. You can tell that by the fragrance of that dish, so to speak, if we use the order taking analogy in a restaurant. In other words, you are the commander of your destiny. You are the master of manifestation, and where you are choosing to give your attention, that's where you are giving your power, and that's how you are creating your life, and from there, how we are creating our world. So, where is that? And for you to know that it is your fundamental responsibility to use your power wisely, intentionally, and only create what you want and create nothing you don't want, because that would be, well, betraying yourself, violating the power of your power. That would be like really slapping God, because God gave you the power, which is infinite, it's beyond measure. You cannot even know how powerful you are except by doing this process and being aware of the power that you have. Then you are recognizing at least a small fraction of an iota of a percentage of the power that you have, because your power is beyond measure. Your power is infinite and unlimited because you are how God is blessing the world. You are how God is working in the world to transform people, because you are here to be of greater service. And so where you give your attention matters. And I would argue, and I want you to think about this yourself, I would argue that there is no greater focus for you to have than where you are choosing to give your attention, knowing that that becomes where you are giving your power and how you are creating your life and how we are creating our world. So nothing matters more than that one choice, where you are choosing to give your attention. Is that sound and rational and reasonable and logical, and you can recognize how nothing matters more than where you are choosing to give your attention? So I'm asking you, as we are implementing the 30-day success formula, to choose the one thing that matters more than anything else to you right now for you to create. So what is that one thing? So notice that it's a hierarchy as well. The physical is the root, shall we say. Like if you think of, you are not your physical body, and yet think of it as the vehicle that carries you through the physical world, the gross world, we call it in the spiritual community. And yet your emotional and your mental parts of your mind, or parts of you, quote unquote, they're in the astral, and it's the astral that creates the gross. And yet your spiritual, you could say, I mean, this is not a perfect parallel, because this is like the Western model of the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and then we're putting it into a spiritual model, a metaphysical model, which is the Eastern way of seeing things, the Far East, and that is where the causal creates the astral, which creates the gross. And so we can think of your spiritual aspect as being in the causal realm or causal mind, and the causal creates the astral, which creates the gross. So that's kind of an interesting way of experiencing things. So, like, your spiritual focus is more at the heart, and that is a deeper, more important value, shall we say, or aspiration or focal point, because again, the causal creates the astral, which creates the gross. For most of us here, implementing our 30-day success formula, it will be enough for us to have one focus, whichever is most pressing and urgent for you. I mean, like, hopefully you have a healthy physical body and you're in good shape and you have great energy and vitality. Because if you don't, then that, as the vehicle, like if your car isn't working, if your tires are flat or your engine has fallen out, then you can't get around in the world. So, I mean, if you're like what they say, if your health is gone, if you treated your health poorly, if you were unhealthy, if you become sick, then it's hard to have good relationships and it's hard to think about philosophy or the higher goals of humans, much less your connection with the divine or with everyone in the world and your place, your legacy. If you're sick, you can't work on the higher aspirations or levels. So, in other words, the basic root issue is your physical health and wellness and vitality and well-being, right? So, so let's look at how healthy and vital you are in each of the four areas. And that's a great way to start to see what needs you have as you're making your life successful in all areas. So, so I recommend you make your list, first of all, of your goals, desires, and dreams in each of the four categories: your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual. And then look at the areas you need addressing to become strong and vital and healthy in each of those four areas. So, for example, your physical health, like me personally, I'm doing this myself. I'm parasite cleansed. I'm becoming parasite cleansed, to put it more exacting, and that's through parasitecleansed.com. I strongly recommend you do that yourself. You become parasite cleansed because that's actually the second greatest thing that I've ever done is becoming parasite cleansed. I'll share with you my story of that, what happened to me the second while I was doing, as part of becoming Parasite Cleanse, we're doing a 26 or 27 page questionnaire, which reveals to us all the ways we were self-sabotaging, we were hurting ourselves, we were making ourselves weak by taking in poison. And that was so revelational for me that I transformed my life. So like right now, what is it? I don't know. It's like 9 or 7:44 in the morning. I I'm coming off of a 36-hour monk's fast where all I drank during that time was water, no caffeine, and no, I ate no food. And that's something that I do every week now. And that's really great for my physical well-being and health and vitality and wellness. And I mean, are there, well, I should say, to be honest with you, like I have had some mint tea that's caffeine free this morning. I didn't have any of that yesterday. And I mean, I'm already out of my 36 hours. Like that would have been like at 5 a.m. today, but I still haven't had anything to eat. So it's been almost 30, whatever that is, 38 hours, I guess. I mean, I'm done with the 36-hour monk's fast, so I can eat anyway. And I do this because I want to lose about 15 pounds, 10 pounds. I think I'm like about 164 or 163 right now, but I like to get down to 150, I guess. Or 148, I think is when I'm at my least amount of fat, and I think I look pretty good then. And then I'm going to start building up strength. So I'm going to do push-ups and something called the five Tibetan yoga process. Every, I think I'll do the push-ups one day and then the yoga process the next day. And I'll just rotate that and do that as part of, I mean, I'm already like walking whatever between 35 minutes and an hour and 45 minutes every day. And that's been part of my routine for a long time. So I'm in great shape. I don't think I've ever been more healthy than I am now. But now I'm also like I'm removing caffeine from my diet because caffeine is a poison. And I mean, if you're drinking coffee or like I was drinking black tea, I used to like to drink black tea every morning, and I'm removing that from my diet because caffeine is a poison and it's designed to poison people. It makes them more passive, more pacified, more compliant, more weak. I mean, it's one of the most addictive and dangerous and damaging drugs there is. I mean, of course, alcohol, I gave up that. Well, this July, no, this August, it will be 3 years. So what's today? I don't know. Are we in May, I think? May 6th, as I'm recording this. So what is that? May, June, July, August. In about 3.5 months, it'll be 3 years since I gave up alcohol. That was one of the best things that I've done to better myself because it took me about 6 or 7 weeks for that to get out of my system, even though I was only drinking like about, let's say, 2 or 3 times a month. I think I would have wine. Like maybe the woman I was dating, I mean, well, except the last woman I was dating, like serious relationship, was an alcoholic. So, I mean, she would be drinking a bottle of wine every night at her worst, or at the worst of her giving into her addiction. And that was kind of like that was what made it easy for me to give it up entirely because I saw how destructive. I mean, she would get very angry. All of her unhealed stuff would come out because of the alcohol. And anyway, that was easy for me to walk away from it. And anyway, it took about 6 or 7 weeks for me to see how much better my life was without that poison in my system. And I became so much more sensitive to the subtle levels of feeling people, of recognizing the impact that I was having with the choices I was making. In other words, like how I was harming myself. I had to get that out of my system for about 6 or 7 weeks before I would recognize the impact I was having with the choices I was making in my food choices, in my, how I'm showing up in the world, how positive I'm being, how inspiring I am to other people, how uplifting I am. I noticed I started to feel energy so much more deeply without alcohol in my system as a toxin that I was giving myself. Now I'm very interested to see what the impact of having no caffeine on my system will be. And did you know that it takes, like, if you just drink 1 cup of coffee, like an 8-ounce cup of coffee, that caffeine will be in your system for 4 weeks, for 30 days. I had no idea. I only learned recently when I added a new coach to my team whose focus is on self-sabotage psychology. And I've been learning so much from learning his gifts myself and incorporating his coaching into the practice that I have. I've been learning so much. Like, I didn't realize that caffeine, I mean, I guess I knew that coffee wasn't. positive and wasn't negative. And I didn't want to recognize that black tea was a toxin as well. And in fact, it was even introduced by the royals to keep the masses in poverty, weak, so that the empire could continue to take from them with no resistance. That was kind of striking for me to learn, and that was back in 1610. And then, tea time. So to keep everybody poisoning themselves with the black tea, the caffeine. I mean, anyway, so I mean, we could talk for hours about all of this. And coffee, then when they discovered that, that became their greatest weapon of choice against the masses to keep them enslaved, in bondage, dependent, and resistant to, I mean, non-resistant, to keep them poisoning themselves and living, like what did Catherine Great famously say? Let them eat cake. Yes, we'll give them all the sugar that they want because that's another toxin. And I mean, that's one of the, anyway, we could go on, and we do that when we become parasite cleansed. We're becoming very aware of how much we were poisoning ourselves. Even, did you know that the TV was a military weapon designed to keep people focused and so they could be manipulated, programmed, TV programming? I mean, there's no accident, they call it that. And then what is the dumbing device? Look how much that has caused mass destruction, self-sabotage is what it really is. And yet, how much more disconnected people are from their power, from their center, from their purpose, from God, from their families. Look how disconnected we had become because of the dumbing device. And all of us are changing that now because we're coming back together and we're transforming humanity. We're getting back our power, we're getting back our freedom, we're getting back our sovereignty. We're all doing this together through freeingthematrix.com. And especially as every one of us are becoming parasite cleansed ourselves, that's part of our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. And you can see that more directly yourself at parasitecleansed.com, parasite cleansed with an ED at the end of that.com. And I mean, this is the work every one of us is required now to do. You know that, right? You feel that, you trust that. So, what is that one thing that's most important for you to give as your focus and to create over the next 30 days? For most of us, I mean, maybe it will be giving up caffeine for you, going 30 days without the coffee or the black tea. Maybe it's going without sugar for 30 days because you'll see that you don't need it, that it was only hurting you and causing you to sabotage yourself. Maybe it's going without alcohol for 30 days. Maybe it's not smoking weed or cigarettes or whatever it is. Maybe it's not doing drugs. Maybe it's reading every day for 30 days. That would be more like the intellectual level, the mental level. Maybe it's telling your wife you love her every day, or your children you love them every day, or maybe it's being a focused, good person, being genuinely interested in others. If you were more self-centered, or what's in it for me, or you were coming from scarcity, fear, lack, or greed, maybe it's being a good person, and maybe it's doing, maybe it's walking every day for 30 days. Maybe it's going to the gym. I don't know about every day, but yeah, you could go to the gym every day and do legs one day and arms the next, or shoulders, vary it up every day, going to the gym every day. That would be a pretty powerful focus for you to have as we are implementing our 30-day success formula. The point is what you are doing every day is what will make you successful. And you will know that because you will be so much more lean, healthy, in flow. You'll build momentum for the 30 days, and then you're creating a habit. You're creating the habits that will lead to you owning your power and being a successful person. Because you are here for so much more, and now it's time for you to remove the poisons so that you, by your nature, will be more thriving. You are shining your light. You're more healthy and more vital and vibrant. Removing the poisons from your life is what's necessary for you to thrive, for you to shine your light. You are here to shine your light as brightly as the sun. And that requires you not sabotaging yourself at all in any way. That's why becoming parasite cleansed at parasitecleansed.com is what's required now of every one of us. And yet, so for you to do what is required of you, that requires you to stop poisoning yourself, to remove the toxins from your life. And that means becoming parasite cleansed through parasitecleansed.com. And yet it also means, well, focusing, using discipline, keeping yourself on track. That means the support of a like-minded group of high frequency, high conscious people like our freeingthematrix.com mastermind, especially our Operation Greatness chapter Private Wealth Alliance, and everyone who has become parasite cleansed. This is all through our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So whatever that choice is for you, how you are implementing your success during our 30-day success formula, the formula is to do one thing and focus on that every day and complete that one thing or do that one action every day to build that a habit. Like where am I? Today is, I don't know what day it is in my process. I didn't bring my calendar with me when I went to my resort. And yeah, I think it was at 13 days before I went to the resort. So today's Tuesday. So I think I've now completed, I think this is maybe my 16th or 17th day of completing my podcast and also writing a newsletter. And then if it's 16 for that, maybe it's 17, then I think it's been 18 days for my YouTube. I've been uploading videos to YouTube every day because this year I'm uploading 1,200 videos to YouTube this year. And I figured out that that means I have to have 5 videos uploaded every day because I'm creating 2.4 million YouTube subscribers this year. So make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. And with my work, I mean, all of us together, like my focus really is that I have gotten my 1,200 people who are becoming the inspired visionary leader of their 1,200 people. And we're doing that this month because then so I'm getting my 1,200 people who are joining us in freeingthematrix.com. I know that you are one of those 1,200 people because that's what I'm creating. And so my 1,200 people are getting their 1,200 people. And well, let's do this in your perspective. Okay, so you're becoming one of our inspired visionary leaders through freeingthematrix.com. So this is what my focus is over the 30 days of our success formula. So every day I'm getting more of my 1,200 people. And you're doing that yourself through freeingthematrix.com in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So you're getting your 1,200 people. This would be a great focus for you to have during the 30 days of implementing our success formula, by the way. So you're getting your 1,200 people during our 30 days, and they're getting their 1,200 people. And my friend, you transform the lives of 1,440,000 people. Who in all of human history have had anywhere near that level of impact? I mean, there's been a few, and yet those 1,440,000 people getting their 1,200, now you have transformed the lives of 1.72 billion people. I can think of two people who have had anywhere near that level of impact. One is Mahatma Gandhi, who liberated 1 billion people in India by expelling tyranny from the Indian continent. That was a pretty substantial contribution to the world, right? And the other one is Jesus. And what is there, like 2.2 billion Christians today in the world, I think? And how many billions were there before who walked the planet before? So Jesus had more impact than 1.72 billion people. Other than those two people, the slate is pretty clean. I don't think of anyone else. Can you? I mean, that's the impact that you have had with your life just by getting your 1,200 people getting their 1,200 who are getting theirs. You transformed, you liberated 1.72 billion people. I mean, that's pretty much the highest aspiration I think any of us can have on the planet. Would you agree? So will you do that? Will you make that your focus, that over the next 30 days, as you are implementing the 30-day success formula in your life, you have gotten at least your 1,200 people, except you're getting all of your online friends, leading all of their online friends. And that is your greatest contribution to the world. Would you agree? Because you're getting every one of your online friends joining us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind because no one left behind. Because this is the greatest thing that humanity has ever done. This is the monumental turning point in human history. My friend, it's happening by you doing this yourself and doing this with and for everyone connected with you. So would that, getting at least your 1,200 online friends joining us in the freeingthematrix.com mastermind, be your greatest gift and contribution to the world as your focus for our 30-day, implementing our 30-day success formula, where you're making that your priority and you're doing that every day, getting more of your 1,200 people joining us in freeingthematrix.com, and you're transforming their lives as much as you can, every one of your online friends, because this is the higher purpose of your life and it's the higher purpose of social media as well. So the formula is you're focusing on this every day, and you're where you're giving your attention is where you're giving your power, and that's how you're creating your life and how we are creating our world. So by you focusing on that one thing, like getting your 1,200 people joining us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind and leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating them, doing a little more today and being of greater service to every one of your online friends, I believe that's how you can have the greatest impact on the most people in our 30 days. And by you getting your 1,200 people who are joining us in the freeingthematrix.com mastermind, that would be worth, well, you would be getting half of the $59 per month tuition that costs. So 1,200 people times $59 per month times 50%, I think that's 34,400. I don't remember the number exactly. I recently raised it from 40% to 50%, and at 40%, you would be making $28,320 per month. And I think, I forgot the number exactly, but I think 50% is $34,400, but I'm not for sure about the $400 part. Anyway, I mean, to me, $34,400, if that's the right number, per month, that's like financial freedom money. I mean, that's enough to buy a new house, a new car, and to probably pay for all your expenses for your family. It's kind of significant. I mean, not to buy it outright, but to buy it on payments, right? And I mean, anyway, and this is so how does that feel for you to make that your focus for our implementing our 30-day success formula, where you're making this priority number one? This is where you're giving your power. This is where you're creating your life. And we're doing this every day. And yes, you're still doing everything else. Like if you have a job, you work for someone else. Well, then, I mean, $34,000 a month, I think that's probably more than a lot of people make from their work. And maybe this is freeing you to do what you love doing instead. So the point is, you're focusing on this, whatever that choice is for your focus during our 30-day success formula implementation. You're focusing on that, you're building that habit, you're making yourself strong in there, in that one focus, and that's what's leading to something profound in your life. You're building momentum in that direction, and that's how you are creating your ultimate success. That's how you're up leveling your life. So, does that feel good to you? Will you join us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind where we're supporting each other and you're sharing your results, your success, your challenges, and you're getting help on any challenges that you have? Because so the main point of this, of our 30-day success formula, is we're removing the poisons, the toxins in our life that had kept us down, not believing in ourselves, not feeling like we matter, not feeling like we deserve the things we want in life. So stop poisoning yourself and then do the things that will get you the results that are important to you. That's what we're doing. And being in a supportive community where we're all serving and supporting each other, celebrating our wins, and being there during the hard times, that's what our success formula is. And so do this with us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind, where we can all serve and support you in achieving your goal. Like 1,200 of your online friends doing this with us. And I believe that would be your greatest contribution that you can make to the people connected with you, all of whom you can quickly and easily reach with almost no time, energy, thought, or effort, just by even leading. For example, how would that work if you were going back to the beginning of this Operation Greatness podcast and you were leading every one of your online friends through doing this with us, and to do this through your link? Once you become part of our, if you haven't already done that, freeingthematrix.com mastermind, go to the About page and you will get your Invite People link, and just add that link to all of the posts that you are making about even this Operation Greatness podcast. So, for example, right now, go back to the beginning and then pause and reflect on each of the points that I'm asking you to consider here. And then, so consider that point and then share your thoughts about it as your own post on all your social media, and use your invite people link that you got once you became part of our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. And so, like right here, already in our whatever, how long we've been talking now, like, what is it, 35 minutes or something? 39 minutes, whatever it is. And you, so you can easily have like 45 posts right now already. And I mean, how many people will take your inspiration, follow your lead, and do this themselves? They'll be doing our implementing the 30-day success formula themselves, and of course they'll be joining through your link, so you'll be getting half of the $59 tuition every month. and it just takes 1,200 people for that to be worth, I think it's $34,400. Anyway, whatever it is, I didn't do the math ahead of time because I remember the other number, the 28,320 when it was 40%, but now that it's 50%, it's like 20% more than that. Anyway, whatever that is, I mean, I think that's a pretty good goal to have for you to create that 30, whatever that number is, $34,400, if that's the right number, income for yourself. And yet it's not about the money, it's how much you are being of greater service to more people, because that's our source of happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, meaning, impact, contribution, how much of an impact we're having. That's why we are all here. That's why your success, your happiness, your meaning, your fulfillment are all dependent upon being of greater service, how much you are contributing meaningfully to others, because that's why you are here. That's the purpose of your life. So, does that feel good for you to create that you have led, inspired, transformed, and liberated 1,200 of your online friends? Except you're doing that with all of your online friends, but let's focus on 1,200 during the next 30 days as part of our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Does that feel right to you? That that's something that you can actually believe is possible for you to achieve in the next 30 days by giving that a little attention each day? If so, then make sure we're doing that. I want to support you as much as we can so I can even give you the posts to make. We're all sharing the posts that we're making as part of our 30-day, as part of our chapter meetings where every day at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we're getting together in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind and we're going through that day's Operation Greatness podcast, which is our chapter meetings. And then we're doing that. We're sharing each post, we're talking about each insight, and we're posting our thoughts about that. And then we're putting that all together in the essay and do that with this Operation Greatness chapter meeting as well. Take all the posts that you're making, put them into the essay you're sending me, dan@danclatt.com, and then of course share that essay in the freeingthematrix.com mastermind, because this is part of how we're all serving and supporting each other. Like I'm doing this myself, you're doing this yourself, and hundreds of us are sharing our essays, and then that's giving you hundreds of other essays or posts you can share to further lead, inspire, transform, and liberate everyone you are blessed to be able to serve. Is there anything more beautiful than that? For the betterment of every one of us in our human family, because remember, we're transforming the lives of 1.72 billion people. We're helping them become free, very wealthy, living their dharma through Operation Greatness, parasitecleanse.com, and freeingthematrix.com. I believe this is the greatest thing that you have ever done, your greatest contribution to the world, in fact. Is there any question about the need for all of us to do this? And my friend, this is happening by you doing this yourself as you are implementing the 30-day success formula. How great does that feel? How much more do you know you matter than you ever even could have comprehended or imagined? By transforming the lives of 1.72 billion people, is there any greater way you could serve humanity than that? Is that by far the most important thing you have ever done? Is that, in fact, the higher purpose of your life and why you are here on the planet right now? I have to think it is. I love you. I believe in you. I know how much you matter because I see you as the person who has fulfilled your potential and is living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. That's how I connect with you because I see that within you. I know how much you matter and why you are here on the planet because you are God's gift to the world. I believe in you. I see this in you. I know that there is so much more that you are now giving your attention and flowing and creating in your life and in the world. You are God's gift. your contribution to the world is beyond measure because you made this a focus and you made it priority and you made it happen. I'm so humbled and in awe at the gift you are. Thank you very much.